Hey, good morning, guys. I seem to have had a temporary internet outage here, so I'm getting started a little bit later. But it's always good to start the morning out with a little joke. Doesn't always have to be coffee. All right, so let's take a look at everything that we have up here. Let's see these two on the floats out of, well, the first three, the float is out of whack or out of parameters for me, so I can eliminate those first three right off the bat. Let's see what's up with BITA. It's on earnings. Oh yeah, there it is. I didn't even see it. I overlooked it. So let's take a look at what that has to offer. I don't know how much this one has in the tank. Not really sure. And we'll talk about Tesla in a minute. I decided yesterday it was time to try to make some money off this thing. You know, if it starts to settle in. Let's see, BITA. All right, so BITA is on. We got up on earnings. Now it looks like we're starting to roll over and pull in a little bit. So let's see. Somebody's upsetting my dog. Alright, let's see if we can find these levels in here. Alright, I think that's about where we're at. Looks like it just kept running into an issue there. So we looks like we do have some windows here of opportunity, you know, depending on which way it goes. So that does look okay. No, why would the float be too small? PSTG, this one gapped up yesterday. I don't think there's much room in this one. I don't know where you see 14 million. or it could be. Um, right here it says 63 million. Don't know if PSTG is gonna have enough in it to really make any moves today. It may pull up, it may run up and test 52-week high. But if you look at these candles, you can tell these are smaller candles, which means that it really doesn't move that much in a day. And it's already gapped up. So not really sure how much momentum this will get. If it gets over this level and tries to make a run for the 52-week high, not too sure how much will get. But this one doesn't seem to have, enough room to move. And that's going to be key. Momo is on earnings. This one is pretty volatile. For 136 million share float, this one does get volatile every now and then. So you can see the windows of opportunity, that we have in here. This wouldn't be my first choice because of how it trades, but I will put it on watch because, once it settles, it does, turn in to be a good trader. It does turn out to be a good trader. All right, so NAVG right here is a buyout. So no dice on it. And then EXAS. Now I'm surprised it gapped up the way it did on the news. That news just doesn't seem like it would cause a stock to gap up $12. You're talking about it collaborating with who? Pfizer? Yeah, in a marketing deal. To me, that's kind of that may be kind of sketchy here. So I'm not really sure. I don't really have that good of conviction on this. Alright, stop acting silly, man. Every morning this gets more and more silly. Or slower. All right. So we'll see. What this does. I'd be curious to see if this thing keeps running. But these biotech stocks, I really don't like anymore. They have proven to be very, very well manipulated. Which can cause it to do some crazy stuff. All right, so we've got some higher float stocks that I think are worth a look. Target, which is number one up here on our earnings scan here. No, not EXAS. TGT. So we've gapping up here, 52-week high. And kind of remember the rule that I have on these. This this is gapped up. We made a 52-week high 3 days ago, in which this gap should be sustained based on the fact that this is the second attempt within the last 2 weeks. So normally when that happens, this is going to sustain the move. Plus, retail has been doing very well lately. So I would expect this to continue to go up. LOW. That's the other one. This is a good ways away from the 52-week high, but we pretty much closed the gap. We had a big gap down here, and then the recovery. We pretty much closed the gap. But again, all of these retail stores, no matter what sector they're in, whether it's clothing, hardware, or whether it's like Walmart or Target that pretty much covers everything, all of these have been gapping up and showing strength. So I would expect this to continue to march up, break the pre-market high at some point, and continue marching up. That would be my expectation. But conference calls getting ready to start right now. Yeah, this about to test it already on this conference call. So I'm expecting this, to push up and to push through, take out this pre-market high and keep going. which, you know, makes it worth a watch. I don't know what the heck's wrong with my dog. He's never up this early in the morning. All right, so what I'm going to be looking at, obviously LOW. This is going to be on watch. TGT, and this is going to be on watch. You know, we may get a pullback to the 52-week high, but I think we're going to sustain it and push up. We may get a little pullback here at open, but I think this is going to go up. Just like LOW, I think it's going to be a better long trade throughout the course of the day. EXAS, I'll be interested to see what this does. Again, I don't really like trading biotech stocks right now. That's not to say I won't trade one. You know, if it looks really good, I just don't like them right now. But EXAS, I'll be curious to see what this does, if this keeps pushing or whether we come back to earth. There may be more behind that news story or that press release than first meets the eye. So, you know, I will keep that. We'll keep that in mind. Let's see. And then Momo, again, this wouldn't be my first choice, but you know, it does have a setup. It does have, you know, room to make profit between the levels of support and resistance. So we'll have that, and then BITA. So we'll keep these on watch. Alright, so let me post these for you guys. Yeah, these are the stocks I'll be watching. Alright, so here's a question that I've been getting lately. So I felt I would wait till this morning to address it. So if you look at our trade yesterday, well, you should be able to see it pretty good over here. If you look at our trade yesterday, you can see we had this wicked candle where it tested the high side and it started to sell off. I didn't jump on it here. Now, had I jumped on it here, I would have nailed this trade. You know, if I had jumped on it on the break of the 5-minute opening range low, we would have made money on this thing. and it would have been a nice day. However, because of what's been happening, I decided, let's wait. I want to wait, let things settle down. I'll give it the first 15 minutes and then I'll take it. And that's what I did. I gave it the first 15 minutes when we started to crack 15-minute low. I got in. It worked. It looked like it was working. Looked great. This wasn't the pre-market low, but it looked like we were going to, just continue and make another new low. Get down to this level here. But it changed course all of a sudden. It's like the wind shifted and, I was stuck with my sails fluttering. And then, bam, it ran up and stopped me out. And it's frustrating. But you can't really do anything about these. And just because this one didn't work, or the ones that I've been trading didn't work, that doesn't mean the strategy doesn't work. Because there are many that actually make the move. It's just that because I'm only trading with so much money, I can only take a small group of stocks. And most of the time, when I have money, I don't trade those group of stocks because they don't typically give good moves. But because this is what we're dealing with, it's what we got to take. I mean, I could sit here and not trade day in and day out. That's not going to get us where we need to be. You still need to take trades that set up. You still need to learn how to manage these that don't work. Stick to your stops. The only way and the only reason that I have not gone negative is because I'm managing my risk. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Plus, I don't turn around and jump back in on revenge trading. And here's, this was a perfect example of where you could have just jumped back in saying, okay, we made a lower low here. We rejected all of this. And you take a revenge trade. These are the skills that you have to learn. And grinding through action like this, grinding through everything that we've been dealing with the last month or so, that's what develops your character. That's what's going to help you when you do get, your account does get built up and you're able to trade, these stocks that are really giving us good moves. And you're going to be able to handle it. You're not going to end up blowing all of the money that you just made. And that's another story I get. It's another, email that I get that I hate to get. That I did this, I got to this point, and I just got careless, and I lost all my money back. And they're having to start further in the hole than they did when they originally started. We don't want to do that. It'll be so easy for me to deposit $2,000 in this and then go to town. That would be so easy to do. But how many of you can do that? I committed to doing this because I wanted you to see how tough it is. But I wanted you to see how you have to grit it out. How you have to accept the cards that you're dealt. And then you start strategizing on how to play that hand. And how to turn that seemingly losing hand, into a winning hand. And that's what this is all about. That's what I'm trying to teach you. No, I can't teach you everything that I'm doing all at the same time. I can't do that. Yeah, I make money trading. Yeah, I have to take trades, outside of what I'm doing. But they're more like investment trades. They're trades I'm going to hold for a while. And it's not something that new traders or beginning traders or intermediate traders, it's not something that you want to get into. Plus, you need a pretty significant sized account in order to withstand some of that. So no, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to just add money so that this gets easier for me. That's not what this is about. So I want you guys, to really understand this is a grind. I made a commitment, and whatever it does, however many slaps in the face I have to take, then I'm going to take them. Because you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to take these slaps. Maybe I like getting slapped. I don't know. Maybe I've got that sick fetish. But, you have to go through this. If you're going to start small, you're going to have to deal with these issues. You're going to have to deal with being limited to the stocks you can trade. Sure, we can trade lower dollar, low float stocks, but that doesn't fit me. That doesn't fit my personality. And, I can't make money trading those stocks moving as fast as they do. But some people do. Some people can. They love it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. It's not who I am as a trader. So, I have to stick and stay within the parameters that suit me, that fit me as a trader, so that I can continue, to grow and to develop into my own self. And you guys have to be, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do that. But you're going to have, as you're learning what you like, what you dislike, as you grow, you're going to have to grind. You're going to have to go through the red days. And, I had somebody that just recently said, hey, I like what you're doing in here. I know it's, been tough, but let me know when, you have the green days and I'll come back. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. And if all you're in for is just to see the green days, I can't help you. You're in the wrong place. Because you don't really learn a whole lot from the green days. They make you feel good. They validate that you're doing something right. But it doesn't teach you anything. What teaches you are the red days. What teaches you are the days that you struggle, that you make mistakes. And you start noticing and understanding the market is changing. To me, it's a living, breathing entity. And it's starting to change. And, we have to be on top of that. And if we can't, grind out the bad days, we'll never notice it. So that's my soapbox. And you're gonna see, and it's not uncommon to see more red days than green days. But guess what? If you manage your risk, you can have 3 red days for 1 green day and still make a couple of dollars. You may not be moving as fast as you want to move, but you will be making a couple of dollars. And you won't be giving it back. And it's all about growing. It's all about learning and growing and developing into that trader. You know, that one that you don't really need anybody to validate what you're doing anymore. You know, you're comfortable. You're finding your own stocks to trade. You're building your own watch list. You know, you're not looking at what everybody else is doing to try to validate what you're doing. You know, and in the process of your growth, you're trying to teach others what you're learning and to help others. And all of that helps enhance your growth. So that's my soapbox for today. You know, I didn't do a recap video yesterday because this is just more of the same. You know, nothing's changing. Everything is we're kind of in the same boat. And, you know, we just grind through it. That's what it's all about. We're just going to grind through it and make it happen. When we come out on the other side, you know, we're going to feel just that much better about ourselves, and we would have learned that much. You see, this isn't the first time I've done this. This isn't the second time, or third time, fourth time, or the fifth time. I've done this many times. And every time it starts the same way. And every time we grind our way out, and you know, we come out great on the other side. Now, this is the first time I only started with $1,000. And maybe that's in my head. And that's causing me to, you know, a little bit of anxiety. But, you know, hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good in Ed's hood, you heard? I got that from a movie. I can't remember which one it was. Alright, so let's get our game faces on. And let's make it happen, Captain.